Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was released in 2023 and stars Shameik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, and Oscar Isaac. And in this movie, Miles reunites with Gwen and ends up meeting a group of spider people where they end up in a multiversal battle on how to handle a new villain. Man, the hype for this movie has been unreal. I have seen so many people talk about this movie and how fantastic it was, so I finally got to see it, and I think it lived up to the hype and more. Now, I will be getting into spoilers, okay? So if you haven't seen this movie, please, please, please go see it. It is so worth your time, and I need to talk about all the events that unfolded, so let's get into it. Well, starting off with the positives, and the biggest positive I can give Across the Spider-Verse is the story and concept. I think what's so cool about Spider-Man is that so many stories always seem so fresh no matter how much time has passed. I think it's really cool. And this is one of the most interesting Spider-Man stories I have ever seen. It literally challenges the concept and identity that is Spider-Man. You talk about questioning, why does Spider-Man have to go through this trauma? Does Spider-Man need to go through this type of suffering to become the superhero that he is? Now, the reason this story is brought up is because Miles meets all the spider people that are led by Spider-Man 2099, or Miguel O'Hara, and Miguel tells Miles that, listen, we're all connected through this Spider-Verse thing, and we all go through similar things. That's what makes us all connected. And if you prevent something that is supposed to happen from happening, then not only your universe, but all our universes are going to end up, collapsing and disappearing. So, the reason why the conflict happens is because Miguel decides to tell Miles that, listen, your dad is going to die, and you are not supposed to stop that at all. So we're going to keep you here because clearly you can't keep yourself out of trouble. And Miles obviously questions that and is against it, and then we end up going in this huge conflict that is Across the Spider-Verse. I think what's so great about Miles, the way he's written in this movie, is that he represents all the comic book and superhero fans that have always questioned why comic books continue to be the way they are. If you're a Spider-Man fan that has been reading comics for the longest time, you know how annoying it is that they refuse to let Peter Parker grow up. Like, we never get to see him get married, have kids. It's always in like small stories that aren't canon. We never ever get to see Peter grow past the age of like 20. So we end up getting tired of it. And I think it's so cool that Miles questions, why does it have to be this way? Why do we have to do it like this? Why can't we save everyone? Why can't Spider-Man do this and be like this? Why does it always have to go into the same formula or canon as they were starting to get really meta in this movie? You really understand where both sides are coming from because of how well the movie is written, because some of the older Spider people, they understand that Spider-Man needs to have this sacrifice. He has to do this in order to save everybody else. It's sacrificing the one to save the many. That's how they look at it. But Miles, he has gone through so much in such a small amount of time. I mean, he made these amazing friends that he never ever gets to see again because they are literally in different universes. He lost his uncle, and now his parents keep trying to force him to be something that he's not. So he's having this identity crisis as Miles Morales, and then when he meets these spider people, they start questioning him on why he is Spider-Man and how he acts. So he's having an identity crisis as both Miles and Spider-Man, and his worlds end up colliding. So it's written so well that you obviously are on Miles' side, but at the same time, you understand why all the other characters are acting the way they are. On paper, it seems so easy to say, oh yeah, you sacrifice the one to save the many, but when you're in that perspective, when you're in Miles' shoes and they tell you you need to sacrifice your father in order for all of us to live, yeah, you're naturally going to have some pushback. The animation was out of this world. Like, it was incredible. Like, the way they use color, shading, saturation, anything you can think of that has to do with color or animation, this movie completely knocks it out of the park. I am going to die on this hill in saying that this movie visually is in the same tier as how we look at Avatar. Like, I hope people start to talk about the way this movie was animated, because I have never seen a movie animated like this before, and I really hope people start to adopt stuff like this, because wow, it was... I could literally put the movie on mute and just be blown away by how the story is told simply through animation. I love the diversity of spider people in this movie. Everybody is so unique. Even though they've all gone through very similar backstories, as Miles finds out, they are all different and unique in their own way. I really love that because it shows that anybody can be Spider-Man. That's what Stan Lee talked about. Stan Lee even said that anybody can be Spider-Man. When you put that mask on, it doesn't matter who you are, you can be Spider-Man. And that's a testament to how good the writing is again. With this production, the staff, everybody involved, they all understand Spider-Man. They really do. They know how to write a relatable and likable character, unlike some other people at Marvel. Let's talk about the big twist of the movie. Oh my God. The Spot went from one of the most comically ridiculous villains to one of the best in the span of one movie. That is so cool to see. I personally love the Spot. The first time I saw the Spot was in the 90s animated series, and I liked him, but even I knew he was like a, at best, C-tier villain, but man, he quickly became the nemesis that he so desperately wanted to be. And I love the twist that technically the Spot created Miles. He brought that spider in that was from another universe. He created that spider and Miles got bit by it. And then obviously Spider-Man 2099 revealed that out of anger, he's told him that, listen, you were not supposed to be Spider-Man. You're just supposed to be normal Miles Morales. Nothing more, nothing less. Peter Parker was supposed to be Spider-Man in your world. But because you got bit by that spider, you ended up getting Peter Parker killed. That was heartbreaking to listen to because you see Miles saying, no, you're lying, it's not true. You're seeing that he already is going through this identity crisis. And then it just gets nailed in even further when Spider-Man 2099 tells him that, dude, you weren't even supposed to be Spider-Man in the first place. You're not special, you're just a kid. And I love so much that Miles at the end of this movie proves that he really is Spider-Man. Even though he wasn't meant to be Spider-Man, he is more than capable of maintaining the mantle. I love Miles Morales. You know, I remember when he first came out in the comics, people were very much against him, but I love that because of the new comics, the video games, in this movie, people are starting to love Miles Morales. And I absolutely love his character, and these movies have absolutely done him justice. And yeah, the ending of this movie. So he ends up going against all the spider people. There's this really cool battle that happens, and he ends up going back to a world. Now, I'm not going to say his world because he went back to the world that the spider bit him in. So he ended up going back to that world where his father is dead. And then he ends up meeting another Miles Morales. And this Miles Morales is evil because that Miles is the Prowler. Wow, that was so cool to watch. It was so cool to see evil Miles Morales. And you clearly see two sides of the same coin. What a fantastic ending. And I think what's going to happen is that evil Miles is going to try to take our Miles' dad from that universe and bring it into his to complete the family that he never truly got. So I definitely think there's going to be a lot of conflict in the new movie whenever it comes. I think it's coming out next year. So yeah, next year cannot come fast enough. Now, as much as I love this movie, there are some things that I'm mixed to negative about. And the thing I'm mixed about is that when we meet Spider-Man 2099, he explains that, look, we're all supposed to, go along in a certain way. Everything is supposed to happen for a reason. We're all connected, so we all have to go through this grief. We're all supposed to be bitten by this spider, and we are supposed to be the spider people in our respective worlds. I just don't understand why certain people are chosen. I just wish they explained that, because why is it in 99% of the universes Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but then you have a couple of ones that you could say are not exactly of the norm, like Miguel O'Hara is Spider-Man 2099. Gwen was chosen to be Spider-Gwen. You have Spider-Woman, then you have Miles being Spider-Man. I just wish that they kind of delve deeper into that about why certain people were chosen to be the spider person of that world. How is that decided that you are chosen to be that, and what is to be determined on what is not of the norm? I know I'm starting to get a little complicated, but when you're dealing with Spider-Versal stuff, yeah, it's going to get complicated. Now, in terms of negatives, I'm okay with a lot of the character decisions they had to make, but why is it they chose to disrespect one of my favorite characters? They made Ben Reilly a complete joke. I understand that the Clone Saga is one of the most controversial and most disliked comic book runs of all time, but over time, Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider, has become a fan favorite. Why did they make him the way he was? Like, he was a complete joke. He was dumb. There was no reason for him to be there. It was to the point where, like, why is Miguel even bringing him on this dangerous mission? He doesn't bring anything to the table. He was basically useless. But look, I get it. I'm not gonna be too picky about that. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like they could have done his character a little bit better. And the second and probably biggest negative is the audio. And I thought it was my theater, but it turns out everybody's been experiencing this. There are parts of the movie that are literally unhearable because the music is blasting so loud, I can't understand a single word people are saying. The entire opening sequence with Medieval Vulture and you're dealing with Spider-Gwen and Miguel O'Hara, they're like talking to each other. Yeah, I couldn't hear a thing. I don't know what they were saying, and that was really annoying. When Spider-Punk was first introduced, Spider-Man India, when he was introduced, I couldn't understand a word they were saying. Anytime they were monologuing, anytime there was a voiceover, it was very difficult to hear. So I'm waiting for this movie to come out on streaming or DVD so I can watch it again and read the subtitles. So I don't understand why Sony allowed that to happen, especially in this day and age. This is 2023 and you're having audio problems for a major animated motion picture. Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. So that's really unfortunate, and it kind of made the movie a little bit unwatchable at times because I would be so into the movie. Like, I'm just at the edge of my seat that all of a sudden they do the voiceover and then I can't hear anything. I'm just like, whoa, what's going on here? So I really hope maybe when they do the DVD release, they fix that, but it's sad that, you know, people all over the world who've been watching this in theaters have been going through the same issues. Now, despite its flaws that I've given, I absolutely love Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Not just a great Spider-Man movie. It's gonna go down as one of the greatest animated movies ever made. It is so well done. The story is fresh, it's compelling. The characters are written so well and so diverse. They're also deep in character. They're fantastic. I just love everything about this movie. Well, almost everything about this movie. It's a fantastic movie. It's a great setup. I can't tell you how sad I was when I saw To Be Continued on the screen. I can't wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse. This movie, despite its flaws, gets an A+, a fantastic ride. I can't wait to watch it again. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.